Support for WYES is made possible by Mary Lou Kristovich in memory of her husband, William Kristovich.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, Fred Kasten, producer and host of Jazz New Orleans on WWNO Radio Friday nights, here to discuss Let Them Talk, Conversations on Louisiana Music, is an interview series that is at the French Quarter Festival. Hello, how are you?
Hello, Peggy, great to be here.
What a busy little weekend we've got ahead.
We've got one this weekend, yes,
really?
Indeed.
Poppy Tooker with an exclamation point, host of the WWNO rodeo program.
It's a big rodeo.
Louisiana Eats. You can do that too, huh? And we're so thrilled. Pandora Gastelum, founder of the Mudlark Public Theater. So you see her friend, it's in the Marigny. She is discussing the NOLA Giant Puppet Fest, kicking off next week. So good to see you. Hello and welcome. And your friend. And Alan Smason will return next week. But first off, Poppy, now we should start off with the fact that we know there's fabulous food at the French Quarter Festival, and just go down there and experience it all.
But so I would guess that this weekend, in this weather, no one needs any help promoting their food down at French Quarter Fest. So God bless you all, make $1 million. But I've got this great scoop. Just opened up on St. Charles Avenue. There's a Mr. Ed's Seafood and Oyster House. Now, of course, that comes from the same folks that operate one, well, in Metairie on 21st Street. There's one on Bienville Street in the French Quarter. So this is the third. And, of course, it's also the Austin's people. Now, this is a shot of the fella char grilling the oysters. And I will be honest with you, I eat char-broiled oysters everywhere. These were the best I've had in memory, because you know how sometimes you get them and they can be like little overcooked rubber bands. These are plump and delicious, and the cocktails are lovely. There's a beautiful Manhattan.
Poppy, what's it near? It's 1300 block, so it's near
It's right across from that. Yeah, it's right by the Place Saint Charles or the Maison Saint Charles Hotel. It's that hotel, whatever the name of it. Look at them. You see how good they look? They were fabulous, and they've got raw oysters. Of course, those were fabulous. Crawfish beignets that had kind of a cheesy. This was your old-fashioned New Orleans stuffed bell peppers stuffed with meat and shrimp and the most delicious mac and cheese on the side. It was just wicked, wicked good. And so go. They're open lunch and dinner every day except Sunday, and it's delicious. And you can go any place in town because they're all over town now. Now, next, I want to talk about an annual benefit that's very near and dear to my heart. I was part of the crew that helped get the Edible Schoolyard New Orleans program growing. That, of course, has grown incredibly into so many different campuses and just does such good work. So Thursday night, April 14th, this one coming up, at the Langston Hughes Academy, which is their Gentilly facility, they're having the Edible Evening to benefit the First Line Schools Edible Schoolyard NOLA. And the food's going to be incredible. It's really an unusual lineup. Aside from the Link Restaurant Group, the Ralph Brennan Restaurant Group, the Dickie Brennan Restaurant Group, you can also sample foods from the Dryades Public Market, which is just about to open. Killer Poor Boys will be there. Pizza Delicious will be there. Even Toops Meadery will be there. And so you can have a word with Isaac Toops, Top Chef fan favorite. Isaac did good, finished third. Congrats to him. And then, I learned this week that there is an incredibly special dinner going on next week at Shia. But it's all sold out. and I hadn't even heard about it. So sometimes I don't even hear about things, and you just have to jump on special events when they happen in New Orleans, or you're not going to get in. And there is a super cool thing that's happening on Jazz Fest Eve, which would of course be April the 20th, Thursday night. And it is the first ever musically mastered menu New Orleans. And it's a VH1 Save the Music Foundation. They've done this elsewhere in the country. They're bringing together great music, fine dining, and it's going to be upstairs over Cochin at Calcasieu. And check this out. It's hosted by Solange Knowles. Oh. There's performances by Our City. And so to get tickets, go right now to vh1.com. Tickets are $250. It's going to be a blast.
All right, thank you. Yeah, get it while you can. Huh?
Get it while you can.
Well, Pandora, the 5th annual Puppet Fest.
Yes.
And you're at the helm, kiddo.
Yes, we are in our 5th year, and we are so happy. We did begin working with the Marigny Opera House, but now we're floating on our own. We've managed to do it. So this year our events will be at the Mudlark Public Theater.
Which is your venue.
Which is my venue, yes, and also at Art Space at Port, which is a new venue that just opened this Mardi Gras.
And this is a part of Infringe, or in conjunction with Infringe
Yes,
Festival?
it is the NOLA Giant Puppet Fest at Infringe. We're trying to get our Fringe Fest back. That's what we're doing. So we're joining forces. We have 28 shows at 7 different venues, and we're very excited.
Who's your friend, by the way?
My little friend is Lily. She's the star of Fitcher's Bird, which is the Mudlark Puppeteers offering for the festival this year.
Now, do you make the puppets? Or?
I do, yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Pandora.
I do.
And you also sing beautifully, because you've been on before
Oh,
singing.
you're a sweet angel for saying that.
Well,
yeah.
it's true. Now, set up, we have 2 tastes of the Puppet Fest tonight.
We do.
And so set up the first one for us.
The first one is going to be from Leroy's Place, and that will be at the Art Space at Port.
Oh, right.
Yeah, but they're an amazing company. Their names are Serene and Jacques, and they're a team. They have a video element. It's going to be a multimedia puppet performance, but they're going to give a little taste of their process.
Okay, now let's take a look.
We're Leroy's Place, and this is how to take a ordinary box of cardboard garbage and turn it into a magical puppet show. So first thing you're gonna need is to make a cardboard backdrop to make this living room kind of come to life. Next thing you need, definitely a bookshelf. Can't have a room without a bookshelf. Maybe a couch? And I think we need a TV. Next, I think we need a coffee table, maybe an end table. Gotta have furniture. And it's looking a little uncomfortable. Maybe a pillow, comfy blanket. Ah, that's looking nice. I think we're missing a houseplant. This room definitely needs a houseplant. And something on the wall. Maybe an Evel Knievel poster? And he's definitely gonna need some books, maybe some magazines on the table, and a cold beverage. Can't sit there without a cold beverage. Oh, I think we're missing the gambit. I know there's gotta be bills in there. And then I think we're gonna need a remote control and some fancy reading material. Looks like we're missing one important thing, a crash helmet. And of course, if you have a Leroy's Place puppet show, you have to have a monster. And that monster almost always has a magical daydream.
A behind the behind-the-scenes look. Once again, the NOLA Giant Puppet Fest of April 14th through 17th, and you see all the ways to find out more information. But Pandora, they make all this. It's made out of cardboard.
It's all made out of cardboard and recycled materials. In fact, this puppet that I have with me today is all made out of grocery bags, the paper kind. Yeah, I use tapioca starch, and I sculpt over a clay mold, and then there's a wire armature inside, and then I collect, scraps of fabric and things that I find in free boxes, but it's all, just recycled materials, yeah. But this is paper bags.
Most impressive. Now set up this next clip that we're going to see.
All right, so the next clip, this group got the Henson Foundation grant this year, which is really impressive. My company's had it in the past. We have other companies in the festival that have it, but this year the current grant recipients are Abandoned Ships, and the show is called What Keeps Us.
Okay, and who are we seeing or hearing in this?
What we're going to see is just a section of the show, and it's the whole company.
All right, great.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. Once again, that NOLA Giant Puppet Fest taking place April 14th through 17th, and you see Forge NOLA, Infringe Vest, and Mudlark Public Theater. Lots of great information. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Alan Stiles named the 2 Tennessee Williams plays that have animals in their titles. You could have said Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, or A Night of the Iguana, or Sweet Bird of Youth. Now, tonight's question, in homage to the French Quarter. Name 2 of the oldest French Quarter restaurants. Restaurants in the French Quarter, the 2 oldest ones, okay? And email your answers, okay, to Steppin Out at WYES.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine. And tonight we have 2 dish towels with the messages sitting on the dock of the bay leaf, that is. And time is on our side from our friends at wearableVegetables.com. All right. And you can visit WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including Gina Ware's new spring collection on Bienville, and Clothes Perfect for Jazz Festing. And that sale starts this weekend and continuing for the next few weeks. Also, Phil Melanson and Chris Champagne do their parody Muck Dynasty at the Columns Hotel Sunday night. And you can link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program on our homepage. Now to Fred. So Fred, there's a lot of music, there's a lot of food at the French Quarter Festival. There's also a lot of good talk, isn't there?
A lot of good talk, and it's a beautiful setting, of course, one of the most beautiful built environments on the bleakest of days, but when you dress it up with this beautiful sunshine and blue skies, the whole area just comes alive in a very alluring way. Inside the old U.S. Mint is where the talk takes place that we're talking about. They Let Them Talk interview series. On the 3rd floor in that beautifully renovated space, it's a small auditorium, nice, very intimate space, state-of-the-art sound and light. And it's mostly one-on-one interviews with artists who are appearing at this year's festival.
Are you doing the interviews?
I do about 9 of the dozen that we'll do.
Okay.
We also have a couple of other guest interviewers.
Okay.
Keith Sparrow from The Advocate and Tulane music professor Matt Sakakini will also do interviews. And Scott Billington, the Grammy-winning record producer who now lives in New Orleans, will be hosting one of the panel, a tribute panel to Alan Toussaint.
Oh, that'll be great.
It will be indeed. That one will feature, in addition to Scott, Irma Thomas, for whom Mr. Toussaint wrote great song after great song. His son, Reginald, who was his longtime road manager, the award-winning music journalist and biographer Ben Sandmel, and the great bassist Roland Garland, who was a longtime member of the Alan Toussaint Band. That'll be on Sunday afternoon at 2:30, that tribute to Alan Toussaint. On Saturday, I'll be interviewing wonderful guitarist Mason Ruffner, who people might remember, who held court at the old Absinthe House bar, it ain't there no more, back in the 80s with the Blues Rockers. And among his fans were Jimmy Page, Bruce Springsteen, Carlos Santana, and what's that singer-songwriter from Hibbing, Minnesota's name? Oh, yeah, Bob Dylan.
that guy.
Big fans of Mason Ruffner, who, after quite a tenure in New Orleans, actually lived in Scandinavia for a while, but is back in New Orleans now, playing here again. Great guitarist. It'll be a lot of fun to catch up with Mason. I mentioned Keith Sparrow will be doing some interviews or one this time for us, and that will be with the longtime Radiators guitarist Camille Badouin, who is now playing in a couple of other bands after the Radiators semi-breakup. They get back together a couple of times a year still, but that'll be 3:30 on Saturday afternoon when Keith will be interviewing Camille. And 2:30, right before that, I'll be talking with another of the all-time greats in New Orleans music, Ellis Marsalis. And Ellis, just such an interesting man, a brilliant guy, a great contributor to our city, a wonderful musician, and someone whose contributions to jazz education are renowned around the world. And of course, his family is one of the foremost ones in music. Then also on Sunday in the afternoon, 12:30, Matt Sakakini will interview Benny Peet, the leader and founder of the Hot 8 Brass Band. They've had an interesting, sometimes tragic life as a group, but they've done great work and persevered and continue to make beautiful music. Now, speaking of music, of course, there's a whole slew of it, 23 stages around this talk, but the talk takes place Saturday, Sunday from 11:30 each day in the third floor auditorium there at the Mint.
And fqfi.org for more details. We should also point out that on Saturday and Sunday at Le Petit Theater are a lot of music-related documentaries, so you can hear it and see it.
You got film, you got food, you got drink, you got music, you got talk.
And we got you
fun.
Every Friday night on WWNO, too.
Amen, sister.
Thank you. And speaking of music, for over 30 years, longtime New Orleans big band orchestra leader Jay Zainey entertained weekly at the Jefferson Orleans North. Zainey passed away recently, and as a tribute, we wanted to share with you an encore presentation of a 2015 Steppin Out profile.
Let's dance. 1, 2, 3, go.
Every Wednesday evening for over 30 years, music from Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, and other greats of the big band era can be heard flowing from the Jefferson Orleans North Ballroom in Metairie. Couples, many of them regulars, take to the dance floor as 91-year-old bandleader Jay Zainey and his orchestra harken back to the popular music of the 1940s.
I love the big band era. I grew up with this after World War II. I entertained with the Catholic USO in Gulfport, Mississippi, and every Sunday we danced to the big band music. It's a favorite of mine. I don't think there's any other music like it.
I like to come here for one thing. It's a wonderful place to come to. The music is just fantastic. You won't find a better band, so it's great for dancing.
Zainey had his first gig at the age of 8.
I played a little tiny soprano saxophone in the window of a large German restaurant for 3 hours prior to their dinner hour, and my pay was the magnificent sum of 1 hamburger, 1 Coca-Cola, and a 50-cent piece. was on top of the world.
Zainey eventually became bandmaster of a United States Navy fleet band during World War II. He became smitten by the music of the big bands.
And my thanks to the United States Navy for providing us with such wonderful arrangements and wonderful equipment. We had arrangements from the Glenn Miller Band, the Tommy Dorsey Band, all the big names that you want to hear.
Born in Indianapolis, after the war, Zainey's former high school music teacher became director of a New Orleans music school that accommodated returning veterans. He contacted Zainey to work with him. The band leader also formed his own group and played around the city through the years. In 1981, Zainey's longtime friend, late local band leader Pat Barbaro, invited Zainey and his band to play on Wednesday nights at his reception hall in Metairie.
I joined Jay in 1960, and I've been with him ever since. And he called me one night 33 years ago, and he said, we have a chance to go into the Jefferson Orleans on Wednesday nights. What do you think? And I said, Wednesday night? I said, we'll be lucky if we last 2 weeks. Thanks to Pat Barbaro and the people here at the JO, we're still here 33 years later.
On opening night, even a raging storm couldn't keep the patrons away.
By 8 o'clock that night, we had 105 people in here with pant legs rolled up like this. And from that time on, I looked at Pat, he looked at me and he says, Jay, you've got a home. I said, well, what about a contract? He says, you just put on there today's date and then put on indefinite.
Off and on the bandstand, Zainey has his fans.
He just loves everybody. He goes from all the tables, talks to everybody, and all. Very friendly.
And if you have a request of a certain song, he sure heck tries to play that song. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the whole band is just wonderful. That's all I can say about them.
Having played music for nearly an amazing 80 years, Zainey is no stranger to taking requests, even odd ones.
Don't mess with my tutu. Well, 2 people asked for that. So I figured, guys, we're going to play the most horrible discords that you have ever played in your lives, and I'm going to sing it. And it went like this: don't mess with my tutu, bloop, bloop. Don't mess with my tutu, bloop, bloop. Number 1 request is In the Mood. They know it's boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, he's playing In the Mood. Come on, let's dance.
Many attendees consider Zainey's Wednesday night performances to be a treasured experience.
I think we have a jewel in our midst that even New Orleans doesn't realize and recognize. When he plays, we get Harry James, Glenn Miller, Tommy Dorsey, Benny Goodman, Artie Shaw. He plays them all.
Kelsey Schreiber and Larry Russery for a great job. And if you're in the mood for big band music, check out the long-running Pat Barbaro Orchestra under the direction of Brian Barbaro. They play every Sunday evening at the Jefferson Orleans North, with doors opening at 6:30 and dancing starting at 7 o'clock. Admission $13. Cash bars available. Call 454-6110 for details. And now it's time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we have several exhibits and artists to feature. First, this is A Summer Storm by Michael Leday. A New Orleans native, Leday worked as Ida Kohlmeyer's studio assistant for several years in the 60s. It was influenced by her style. This is Zeus and Athena. An exhibit of his recent works will be on view through April 29th at the Hammond Regional Art Center. And he has a talk on the 12th there. Visit the center's website to see more images. And this is Cloud Over Mississippi by Billy Solitario, who studied at the New Orleans Academy of Fine Art. We also have Morning Frost by New Orleans artist Alan Flatman, who studied at the acclaimed John McCready School of Art. Works by both artists, including Melissa Smith and much more, are included in the group exhibit Expressions of Place, the Southeastern Louisiana Landscape, which opens tomorrow evening with a reception from 6 to 9 at the Miriam Barringer Gallery in the St. Tammany Art Association in Covington. Congratulations to our own John Kemp, who curated the show. Also that night, check out Roland Golden's new show at his gallery, also in downtown Covington. And he's got that opening reception tomorrow from 6 to 9 p.m. And we also have a French Quarter artist in celebration of French Quarter Festival. Yet another person to recommend here. Here's Cool Night on Bourbon Street by Elaine Adele Cummins. A New Orleans native, Cummins' parents were very surprised. They were Jackson Square artists too. They were astonished to find out that she began sketching at the age of 6 years old and was pretty amazing even then, that early on. And here is Pirates Alley Spring. Cummins usually sets up at Jackson Square on Fridays or Mondays, and you can reach her at adelearts@hotmail.com. And before we go to our picks of the week, here are scenes from last weekend's Stella and Stanley shouting contest. You will see the finalists towards the end, and the last yeller is the winner, Joel Derby. Let's take a look. It sure makes you smile. And now time for our picks. Fred.
The terrific jazz guitarist Dave Stryker, whose wife is from New Orleans, is in town Thursday night, the 14th, for a pair of shows at Snug Harbor. Highly recommended.
Great. Poppy.
Tickets are on sale for the New Orleans Food and Wine dinners Thursday, May 26th, 7 p.m. They sell out quick, too, so go online.
All right. Pandora.
Picks of the week.
Okay.
Yeah,
Puppet Fest.
look for the Puppet Fest.
Okay.
We're going to be in the Gambit.
All
We're
right,
going to have a pullout.
Okay,
yeah.
good. That's good to know.
Yes.
And now my picks. The New Orleans Opera presents Puccini's Tosca this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. with brunch seatings at noon and 1:15 at the Mahalia Jackson Theater in Armstrong Park. Tickets are available at neworleansopera.org. And the 20th annual colloquium, the International Music Colloquium, takes place all day this Sunday. It's titled Benevolent Societies, Stage Shows, and New Orleans Music. Presentations explore cemeteries, minstrel shows, indigenous music, and Haitian influence on New Orleans music. It's free and open to the public, and it goes from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Visit NOIMC.org, and that's at 6330. It's in this beautiful house, St. Charles Avenue. You can check out the information. And don't miss the Festival of Balloons this Sunday with balloon art that was created during the 4-day World Balloon Convention in town this week, including more than 800 balloon professionals from over 10 countries. And they'll be displayed at the Chemin Royal Ballroom in the Hilton Riverside Hotel from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And you can see tickets are $10 and free for children under 12. They're all available at eventbrite.com. And Musica de Camera presents the last concerts of their 50th anniversary season this month, starting this Sunday at 3 p.m. The Red Book, Songs and Dances from the Libre Vermel of the Shrine of Montserrat will be performed with the women's singing group Vox Femini at St. Andrew's Episcopal Church on South Carrollton, right there at Zimple. Originally scheduled at St. Joseph Abbey, the venue had to be changed due to the unfortunate massive flooding at St. Joseph. So the church is still recovering, and go to nomdc.org for more information about the concerts as well. Thank you all very much, and thank you for watching. Good night.